Tell you what, even if you know nothing about yachting, Team New Zealand's new boat looks amazing. If you saw the launch last night, the testing program begins today, and I can tell you it's a beautiful day for it. I think it's a beautiful day for it, wind-wise. Team New Zealand boss Grant Dalton's with us. Grant, good morning.
Morning, Mike.
And I'm sure you think it looks beautiful, but that's not the point, is it? The point is speed. How much of what we saw at the launch is about the speed, and how much is it about the stuff we haven't seen and won't see?
Well, it's always a bit of a combination, and every team's the same. I mean, the hull's obviously important from an aerodynamic point of view and everything else, but it's a combination between the mast, the sails, the hull, the foils, the rudder, and then ultimately the way the guys sail it. So you'll always see most of it. There's a bit of an engine room inside one of those things, an electronic engine room. But you're seeing a good part of it, when the other bits will be bolted on today, and you'll see the rest of them.
It's different looking. Why is it different?
Well, as Dan said, the head of design said in an interview last night, we took a clean sheet of paper to it because the class is so new and it has so much scope for development. After we launched Boat 1, we said, okay, that's got us to a level. Now, we want to go as far as we can. And the way we always think about it, last time we talked about throwing the ball as far as you can. This time we say, don't design us the 2021 boat. Give us the 2023 boat this time. And that kind of allows the designers to just, expand their thinking. And there's no bad ideas. And we're an organisation that just encourages big ideas. And I think that's what you saw launch last night. So
correct me if I'm wrong, though, but the bigger the gap you go from Boat 1 to Boat 2, isn't therefore the bigger the risk?
Yeah, well, in theory, yes. And, time will tell whether we've made the right choices or not. But we have very strong simulation tools now in the same way that Formula One does. And so we can pretty much model, provided the physics of the simulator are correct, what the boat will do. So it looks like a big jump. It is a big jump, but we're confident in it just simply because the simulators and tools tell us it's just fine.
And it's not so big a jump based on the fact that your first boat wasn't up to much, or it wasn't up to what you thought it was. Therefore, you need to make the jump to be competitive.
Well, no, not so much that. Although again, history will prove this. We put Boat 1 where we thought we could get to in that time frame. We've taken this as far as we can in the time frame we've had. We're happy with Boat 1. But happy's never going to win the America's Cup for you. You've got to be out on the extremes, and you've got to be prepared to accept risk. And, sometimes it's balanced risk, and sometimes it's, it's not so balanced. And that's one of the skills of our guys is they understand that no risk, no reward, but don't put it in a spot where you just, Hail Marrying, because then you will be in trouble.
How good is AI? And all of the stuff you use indoors and tanks and tunnels and stuff like that?
Well, AI is the future for us, absolutely the future. Simulation and the control of the physics in the last Bermuda Cup was, but AI is absolutely our future. Right now, while I'm talking to you, our simulator isn't running because the guys are launching the boat, whereas it should be, and it should be developing new pieces for the boat 24 hours a day. So, we're starting to invest heavily in AI, and come the next Cup, that's where you've got to be.
How much room from what you put in the water today and take it out sailing to improve between today and when you really need to race?
Yeah, well, there will be, but we now move into a sailing phase rather than just a computer building phase. And they are tricky boats to sail, and they reward accurate sailing. So if you're jumping all over the place and up and down all over in the air, you're not going to be pushing forward well enough. So particularly between now and Christmas, the guys will sail as much as they can and just try and get the maximum out of what we have. We will never stop developing. You cannot. They don't count points till the first race of the America's Cup, and they don't count the result till the last race. And you have to stay developing all through that period.
How amazed are you, for a person who used to smash around in the big oceans by yourself around the world and have actual sails and stuff? Are you, or have you become numb to the sort of to look at what you've built, all of them, all participants, is astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm not numb to it at all. And last night was one of those nights where you stand back just for a second through the hail of bullets that we seem to be living in at the moment at Emirates Team New Zealand. and go, wow, this is pretty cool what we've done. We've taken the sport, and I think it's this organisation that has done this from a sport that was starting to move with the times and the technology base to the fringes of that technology, and I couldn't be more proud of what the guys have done.
So you should. As regards the hail of bullets, this Luna Rossa, I don't want to delve into the minutiae, but it's got something to do. You paid or didn't pay on time or whatever. Who cares? The money's there. Why do they pick a fight on that stuff?
It's just the America's Cup, But I would say that we're a country that has prevented COVID. Their country tragically is ravished, and I would hope that they would be slightly more respectful of their hosts and what they are allowed to do in this country because of 5 million people that have sacrificed to make it possible for things like the America's Cup to go ahead.
Is the MB thing going to get sorted?
Yes, well, we want that to delve a little deeper yet, and it will through the mediation process. There's starting to be a goodwill reforming between us and MB. The delivery partners that we've put in place now, if anyone that ventures down the viaduct now, you'll see it all coming together ready for its opening in a few weeks' time. So that in itself is proving a healing process that we're able to put it together through the rogue process that went on earlier in the year. So, I'm really at the moment just thinking about going sailing for a change rather than, as I say, dealing with a hail of bullets. And I think in having the new minister in place, that'll matter a lot because he isn't shackled with any of the burden of what has gone, so he can look at it with a fresh set of eyes. He was there last night, and I think he's going to be great.
Good.
To deal with.
Well, that was my next question. Does all this get kept away from the sailors, people like Burling and stuff, or are you in the, you know what I'm saying? If you're part of a team that's reading headlines all the time and it's negative, does that not affect you on the water?
Well, it doesn't help. It can't help. But there's pretty much a wall between the two parts of this, and I don't think that it affects the organisation in any shape or form. Certainly, shots from the other teams really almost invigorate you more and motivate you more because it's just human nature when someone comes on attack for you to attack harder. So that actually helps us, which I find slightly ironic where other teams think it destabilises. It certainly motivates me. I love that stuff.
Is it good on the? Is it a nice day for it? Am I right? It looks pretty, but there's the wind in the right, all that stuff?
No, it's a perfect day, actually. We're boats in the water. We'll be out on the water, slowly at about 9:30 and just build it up through the day. These boats take time to get all the systems running, be it that we have a very regimented, if you like, bench testing every morning. But by this afternoon, hopefully, we'll be starting to, put the throttles, just open them a little bit.
Fantastic. It'll be quite a sight. All right, appreciate it as always. Grant Dalton.